I remember a time when the biggest worry for a parent was keeping their teenager out of the liquor cabinet. Well, times have changed, and there's an alarming new trend. I had not heard of this, in which teens are raiding their parents' medicine cabinets for prescription drugs. They're called Skittles Parties, and they involve the kids getting all these prescription drugs and then tossing them into a communal bowl, and then the kids take out drugs. They don't know what anything is, and they consume them often with booze. I find this, if you haven't heard of Skittles Parties, you really, and there's another name, I think it's farm parties, too. Yeah. If you hear anybody talking about that, it's so disturbing to me. You've got little kids.
I just was thinking about this. You know, the biggest concern when we were teenagers, my parents would lock the liquor cabinet or something to that extent. Like you said, this is like Russian roulette with drugs. Yeah. I mean, these kids, do they think they're that invincible that nothing can happen to them?
Yeah, they do.
Apparently, they think because it's prescription medication, it can't hurt them, you know?
Doctor.
Yeah.
Our prescription drugs, I mean, it's crazy how we've gotten so far with these prescription drugs. Doctors will prescribe anything at any time.
Right.
Now, and they're so dangerous, especially when you mix alcohol with them. These kids have no idea what they're doing.
When you mix one drug with another drug, I mean, there's a whole do not mix list when you're given a prescription. My husband just had his wisdom teeth out, and when he was prescribed Vicodin, the list of drugs that he couldn't take and that he had to check off that he wasn't taking was almost 2 pages long. And that, to me, was terrifying.
I mean, that bored now? I mean, now we have
it's
iPads.
Not boredom. I think it's more just like this wild. I don't know.
There's a lot of peer pressuring, I think, when you're a kid and you want to do what other kids are doing. I think one of the great things that happened with me as a child is that, you know, my family was very active about showing me the other side. Right, so that I knew it wasn't invincible, and I think we were talking earlier about
you the other side.
You know, a lot of times there was an option for me, but I wasn't as wild as some kids were, where you could go and you would see kids that got in accidents or people who died in car accidents. You go to a morgue, and then really put you in perspective of like, my life can end at any time. And I think these kids are not seeing the real reality.
Well, they think they're invincible. I think kids think they're invincible. They can drink, they can get behind the wheel, they think they can take drugs.
But you actually, that happened to you, right? Where you went to the morgue.
Yeah, so when I was in high school, part of our MAD training, which was Mothers Against Drunk Driving, I don't know if the organization is still around, they took us to a morgue when we were freshmen, before most of us got our license, to show us what can happen when you drink and drive. And it's an experience I will never forget. It was incredibly powerful. And to me, it's something that I just do not do. It is a non-negotiable. And seeing that, and like you said, seeing the reality of that and knowing that you're not invincible is something that I think all kids should do.
Desensitized now. I think they just watch television and see those morgue-type situations. So if they went to the morgue, they'd be, that looks fake to me.
So what do? Lock up the cabinets? Is that the solution? Like, or take your medicine, put it away, hide your medicine?
Hide your medicine.
Yeah, hide everything.
Guns,
and if you've got kids at home and of a certain age, talk to them about this. You know, get the information from them. What do they know about Skittles Parties? Because I'm sure they know. It's very scary. All right, I'm going to switch gears again. You know, I love my dog, Jasper. My husband can't stand him, but I love him, and I'd be the first to admit that I spoil him. But I think that Demi Moore might have me beat. In the latest issue of Us Weekly, a source reveals that Demi's Chihuahua, Vida Blue, gets acupuncture twice a week at the rate of $715 per session. Not that there's anything the matter with him. It's preventative. She's very holistic in her approach to living, and I guess she wants to share that with her doggie, who's very cute. Now, Lance, you love your dog.
I love my dogs, but not this much. No.
Wait a second.
I mean, if it was
spent money.
Well, and I've spent money, but for surgeries and that type of stuff, not just
How much
for
have you
fun.
spent?
I mean, close to $100,000 on.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, my dogs have been very sick. I mean, surgeries, hip dysplasia, all that kind of stuff. So they've been through a lot in cancer.
Yeah.
But if they needed this, of course I would spend whatever it took. But if it was just to get a massage, a doggy massage, I don't think I would do it.
Maybe she thinks it's preventative,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So maybe
I
she
think
doesn't
that's what she
end
does.
up with
acupuncture. No dog needs acupuncture.
No, my vet practices acupuncture on animals. He swears by it.
That's because you know what? People are making money off of that. Are you kidding me? Okay, I'm a dog psychic, acupuncture, I do hair.
Acupuncture works.
That cat modeling stuff. I'd be wrecking. Why am I doing this? I could be selling money to doing all this cat stuff.
People that practice acupuncture are incredibly skilled at what they do, whether they're practicing on a dog or a human. Acupuncture is incredibly effective.
I'm not skilled, but I'm telling you, it's a hustle.
I don't think it's
a hustle. I don't think it's a hustle. All right.
I do.
A dog looks adorable. They're happy and healthy.
I didn't know acupuncture for twice a week is $300.
She can afford it. Why not?